Weirdy Beardy. Life's an everyday adventure. That's my philosophy. The library is one of my favorite places to go. We usually go once a week and get a big bag of books. Another great thing about the library is that we can walk there on nice days. Today was beautiful, so we decided to walk. We also decided to walk by Marco's house to see if he could join us. Luckily, Marco was home and he was ready to go in a flash. He even offered to carry our bag of books to return for us. Marco is not only a great friend, but also a great help too. We chatted about all sorts of things until we arrived. Our library is really pretty. It looks like it was once a house, and it has a great outdoor garden for reading.
Hey, look! It's the Weirdy Beardy,
Marco said as he pointed to the man with an enormous beard reading in the garden. My toes began tingling in my moccasins as my mother hurried us inside.
It is not polite to stare, sweet peas. Let's go inside and exchange our bag full of books.
We dropped the books in the return bin and then headed for the shelves to gather a bunch more. Marco and I laughed as we looked at all of the books. Some of the book covers were very funny, some were colorful, and some looked a little serious. We grabbed some of each and we were ready to check out. "Hello, Mrs. Page," I said to our favorite librarian.
"Why, hello, Molly and Marco. How are you two?"
she said as she checked out our pile of new books to read.
"Mrs. Page, what's the deal with the Weirdy Beardy? Why is he always here reading?"
Marco asked in almost a whisper. Mrs. Page leaned into us and whispered back,
"This is a library, and anyone who wishes to read here is welcome. I will also add that he is a lovely man if you get to know him. Go and talk to him. I've known him for years."
We thanked Mrs. Page, took our bag of new books, and asked my mother if we could go out to the garden and speak to the Weirdy Beardy. My mother thought for a moment, then said,
"Sure, why not? We could begin some of your new books out in the garden too."
Marco and I were thrilled, but also a little nervous. What if he is really weird? Or what if he keeps weird things in his huge beard? As we got closer to the bench where the Weirdy Beardy was reading, he looked up. Marco and I slowly smiled as we put our books down.
Hi, I'm Marco."
I quickly followed up with, "And I'm Molly?" The man with the gigantic beard looked up again and said,
"The kids around here call me the Weirdy Beardy."
Marco and I did not really know what else to say, so I just said, "Well, you do have a really long beard." The Weirdy Beardy laughed, which made us all laugh. Then he told us something we didn't expect. He told us that it was an experiment. He said that he loved mysteries, and he could not find an answer in a book about how long his beard could grow. So he just keeps growing it until it stops. Then the beard-growing mystery will be solved. "We love mysteries too," I said to our new friend.
"Is that mostly what you like to read?"
he asked. "Well, my parents usually read the mysteries to me, but I like all books. I'll read or listen to almost anything." Marco agreed.
Me too."
"What do you like to read?"
my mother asked. The man told us that he likes mysteries so much he usually only reads about science and nature.
"It may seem boring to you young people, but science and nature can answer almost any good mystery,"
he said as he showed us a stack of books about science and nature.
Which book are you reading now?"
Marco asked with excitement.
"Well, I live at the edge of the forest on the other side of town, and the most wonderful family of birds arrived in my backyard. I had never seen anything like them before, so I'm trying to solve the mystery of what kind of birds they are,"
he answered as he showed us the great big bird book. Marco and I suddenly began to ask him tons of questions about the birds to see if we could help him solve the bird mystery. He told us as much as he could about the birds. He said the parent birds were the size of chickens, but were gray with black on the wings and white on their belly. The 8 baby chicks were mustard yellow with black stripes. He also said they had a wonderful bit of fluffy feathers that stood straight up on the top of their heads. We looked through the book to see what we could find. It seemed there were millions of different kinds of birds, but we found about 10 that seemed the closest.
"Oh, wait, one more thing. These were birds that could not really fly very far. I think they are considered ground birds,"
the man stated as he twirled his beard with his finger. "Aha! I think we found 'em. That last clue was great. Of all of the birds we thought it might be, there was only one ground bird. Was this what you saw?" Marco asked as he spun the book so the man could see. He seemed very pleased as he answered.
"Yes, excellent. Mystery solved. Great work, team."
It was time to walk home, so we said our goodbyes. "See you soon. It was nice to meet you," I said as we all smiled. On the way home, we chatted about the Weirdy Beardy. What an interesting man. He was nice and smart. He was cool, we all exclaimed. We decided that he wasn't weird. He was just different. Sometimes nicknames don't describe people well, and I think that is the case for our new friend, my mother said as we continued our walk home. Then Marco had a great idea.
I think we should ask the Weirdy Beardy if he'd like another nickname, or what his real name is the next time we see him."
We all smiled in agreement. Meeting the Weirdy Beardy was awesome. Sometimes going to the library is more than just about books. Molly Moccasins, everyday adventurer.